Hey guys, welcome back to another JC Tennis video. So I'm going to go through these ATP Winston Salem matches that are going to be played this afternoon and this evening, and I'm just going to kind of take you guys through how I go about figuring out which side I like on all these. So I haven't really looked into any of these matches yet, but at first glance I do like some of them, and I've seen little bits and things about them, so I'll give you that insight. But I'm just going to kind of go over how I go about looking into these matches and seeing what side I like a little bit more. And it's really for tournaments like this where, a lot of these guys, you could be the biggest tennis fan, you could watch every day. You really don't know how all these guys are playing off the top of your noggin. You got to do research and see their form and make decisions based off of that. So we're going to jump right into this first match. You saw the line. It's Korda and Majchrzak. Korda's minus 165. So Korda is coming off an injury. He hasn't played since the French Open, as you can see, and he gets a good straight set win over Kopriva, who is world number 87. So that I like to look at the world rankings on these because it gives you a ballpark of what level these guys are playing at. Korda doesn't have a big sample size on hard court because he was just injured, but that's a good match to have. And then Majchrzak. So I just looked at this a minute ago. So look at these results. This is all on hard court. 7-0 on hard court. He won this challenger event. He won all 5 matches, and then he's won both matches so far here. Last 4 matches, he's won in straight sets. This one is really strong. He beats ATP number 42 Borges 6-1, 6-3, 2-0 straight sets. And then he has wins against Jari, Blanchett, if you're getting this guy at plus money, I get Sebastian Korda, who's obviously kind of a different level player than Majchrzak, but I'd say the same about Borges. I'd argue Borges is not, on average, much worse of a player than Korda, and this guy just killed Borges. So I would take Majchrzak at plus money. I think getting a guy this hot at plus money over Korda is definitely worth it there. Okay, next one. So we're going to go to Kecmanovic's results. So you can see it's Kecmanovic minus 200, Darderi plus 165. We're going to keep that in mind as we look at this. So he's got a good hard court schedule and played a good amount this past month. He's just beat Kovacevic 71. Kovacevic, I think he's been winning matches, playing well. And then he has a tight loss here to Mueller, ATP 38. Another loss to Quinn. So he's playing at a good level. He's had some losses. Beat Kovacevic, beat Hollies. I really just look at the last 3, 4, maybe 5 matches. It's really like the last 3 I really try to look at. And then you have to see a time frame too. Like this match now is a long time ago. So he's lost to Quinn. He's beat Kovacevic. Okay, so we have some things telling us different things. So let's see Darderi. So he just got off a tight win against McDonald. McDonald is world number 102. He's only played 2 hardcore matches. He had to retire against Komasana. I don't know exactly the story behind that. So now you immediately understand why he's an underdog, because he's only played 2 matches. Coming off a loss here. Tight win against McDonald at this event. I think if you had, and I'm not strong, and obviously I'm going through every match for the sake of this video, but no one's going to have a strong take on every match, right? So, that first match, I like Majchrzak at the plus money, but for this one, I think it feels a little tighter than this, the margin, to me. And it feels like plus 165 is the way to go here if you had to pick it. And it's obviously he's an underdog. But I'm just thinking, if you're going to do a parlay or something, definitely, I don't think Kecmanovic minus 200 is worth it for any type of parlay or any type of, quick scalp or anything. So that would be my take on this match. I don't think Kecmanovic minus 200 is very safe at all. Okay, so we'll go to Pericard, and Mueller. So he's gotten some good hardcore matches in. It looks like 5 here. He's just barely beat Martinez 2-1. Martinez is number 64, and then he's coming off a loss to number 174. That's a tough one, right? Straight set loss. I think Wong is playing well, and some of these guys are playing better than the ranking, and you can factor it in at times, but that's a bad loss either way. And then he loses to Runa, who's obviously top 10. So to me, that's poor form for a guy like Pericard. For a guy like world number 39, it's pretty poor form. So let's see what Mueller's doing. I think he's been playing pretty good. So he's just barely beat Darwin Blanche. Blanche is this young kid he's starting to play better. He's going to shoot up the rankings here in the next few months to a year, I think, getting to the top 100 pretty quickly, I believe. But so Blanche is playing well better than 4-0. He has a U.S. Open wild card, but still, that's a 100 to 200 level player that Mueller's just hardly beat. He's also lost to Runa, and then 3-set loss to Brooksby. So it's 2 guys ranked in the top 40 that aren't playing at a top 40 level. That much is clear. Yeah, lost to Mute. He doesn't have... He's beat Kecmanovic. He's 3-3. They both just don't have much form here. It's a very well set line, I'd say, because it's close to a pick'em, and then you give the edge to the player that seems like he has a higher ceiling, that might be more due for a win just because of the quality of a player that he is. And I wouldn't disagree on that logic to take that player. We can really get into the weeds on this and how has Martinez really been playing. So it's you can really dial in deeply to each and every player's exact level, and you almost can put a number on it with world ranking. And sometimes I do that. I really will get down and this guy's playing at a 40 to 45 level. This guy's playing at a 50 to 55 level. And based off the value, you pick on that. And it works a lot of times. That's a good win for Martinez. And he beat Jari. So it's not an awful third set tiebreaker win. It's a guy that's competent. Yeah, I'd say I would take, and it's not a strong take, as I'm sure you could tell here, because I'm back and forth, but I would take Pericard at the -130. And I think just for the same reason the books have it set that way. I mean, I trust him in tiebreakers. I trust him in a close match. And that's the side I would go on it. Fucsovics and Bautista Agut. So Fucsovics here is a slight favorite, -140. Coming off 2 wins, so he's beat Gaston and he's beat Griekspoor. That's a good win, obviously. And he's lost. Okay, this is Clay. So Clay, even if it's played recently, I'm not valuing Clay much at all. It's just such a different service. But right off rip, this is a win against world number 31. Right off rip, I'm liking Fucsovics here. But let's see what Bautista has done. So he's played 4 hardcore matches. I do remember him in Cincinnati being on winning matches, having this good run. Look, he's beat Altmaier, beat Norrie. I mean, Norrie's ranked top 40, right? Yeah, 36. And it looks like O'Connell's withdrawn here. So these are 2 guys playing really well. Fucsovics and Bautista Agut. And then for 2 guys like this, these guys are older. So what we can do now, I mean, they surely have a head-to-head. So, let's factor this in. What's their head-to-head? 3-2 Bautista Agut. It's pretty much all been on hard court. Yeah, there's been some walkover and retirement here. Played at Doha a couple times. I mean, it doesn't really give you a I don't think this really changes anything looking at this head-to-head, to be honest with you. I do have a take here, though, and I think Bautista Agut's, he's won so many matches in his career for a reason. I think he wins so many of these 50-50 matches, and it's why you know his name. It's why he's so successful. And to me, if he's playing at a level to beat guys like Altmaier, beat guys like Norrie, to push Shelton as far as he did, it's not going to be a guy like Marton Fucsovics to beat him and change that trend. Greg Spor's a great win. Gaston's a great win. Bautista Agut's wins are better. And I trust him more in a close match. They're both experienced players, trust me, but Bautista pushing Shelton with how Shelton's played, it shows a lot about his level. He's beaten Fucsovics 3 times, as you can just see. So this is a line that I am surprised on. And when you disagree with a line like this, I think how you measure yourself is you make a line in your head. Maybe it's different than the line that you see here. And then you track that over time. How many times is my line right in my head versus their line? And then you kind of go from there. Because in my head, Bautista Agut, it should be Bautista slight favorite. It should almost be flipped. In my mind, I think Bautista should be minus 130, minus 140. Fucsovics, the slight underdog. But those are just my picks for these early matches. I'm going to do hopefully another video later about these last 4. Let me know, anyone watching this, if you guys enjoyed this, thought it was valuable. I want to go through matches like this more and more to show you guys how I kind of think about it. But let me know if you enjoyed this one, and I'll be sure to do the matches later because there's a lot of these almost pick-em matches. You see Diallo, Hamad, Lorenzo Sonago, and Munar. There's a lot of matches that reigning in every little detail matters. So, yeah, but that's really all I have for this video. And let me know what you guys thought of it, and I'll see you guys next time.